Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Cam Villett, and I'm your gracious host here on the House Keys podcast at the Sacramento Association of REALTORS. Today, Friday, November 22nd, we have a very special guest, Mr. Stephen T. Webb. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Cam. It's a pleasure, a plum-pleasing pleasure and a privilege. Thank you.
It took me a minute to get you on. I was begging you months ago, and then I got to run into you a couple weeks, and I'm glad that you and I had the opportunity to connect here because, to me, you are a very important member of the SAR, and I want to show the members that might not show up on a regular basis that we have some really cool and interesting people in this building. And I'm just going to kick it off with you right now. I want to know how you got started in the world of real estate.
I tell you, I found that there was a need. I did quite a variety of different positions prior to getting to that. I was actually in the title business.
Yeah.
I was with Chicago Title.
Yeah.
And for about 5 years and went up the kind of scale. I was a marketing rep and what have you. And we did things a little differently there. Of course, we can't get flyers out anymore.
Or King's tickets.
Or King tickets.
Yeah, no, I remember.
We didn't have the Kings.
the title representative was, and they're still very important now.
Yes, they are.
But 20 years ago, that was the position. I mean, you had to go out and fight for every dollar.
That's right.
And obviously you made probably some great connections starting, which transitioned you into becoming a realtor.
I did. Mine was kind of a corner at the slip in. But what I mean by that is that I did really well. Got rep of the year for Chicago Title. Excelled in reference to going through some of the trials and tribulations as most reps do.
Yeah, it's a tough industry.
Oh, it's something else. I contribute a lot to personality, just being yourself.
Yeah,
being yourself.
Yeah,
and knowing people. But at the end there, I was let go on one of those kind of situations where you kept hitting the ceiling and you weren't being recognized.
Yeah.
I was out at the Southland Park office. We did good. We had Maggie and Aaron and just a great team and did really well. We had about 250 at one of the rebuild gatherings that we had. We had a machine there that a good friend of mine made. It was called, I would if I could have a golf machine made out of wood. And it was an automatic little, it set it on the tee. It was so cool. It was so cool. But those were some of the things.
So kind of you hit the ceiling and then decided to make this transition into real estate.
Yeah. I did. Basically what had happened at that point in time, we were let go.
Yep.
And then I decided, you know what? I'm not going to let this stop me.
Yeah.
I felt that I have taught a lot of those realtors what they need to do, but showing them how to market and things of this nature.
Yeah.
And I said, I can do this. I've always had confidence in myself. And so I went out with a little company. I went out even before with a company called GRA. It was basically kind of a situation where you would buy a home, you would rent the home and then buy it eventually. That lasted for a few years.
Yeah.
But my first real SAR type, situation was when I went in with Rosa and Ron Johnson, RJ Real Estate.
Yeah.
And started out there and, I don't care who you get, but you always have goods and ups and downs. But they really kind of showed me what I needed to do. Rosa was a auditor, at that point in time. And Ron was, with HUD, or had been with HUD. And so we took that business and just took off. And then from there, I went to Miracle Mortgage and Real Estate. I guess I was a miracle then, Rob and his mom. And then I decided to get into a company, which was Keller Williams. And Keller Williams, I came in about 2003. And at that point, they had all the things that I wanted. God first, and that's their motto, God first, family second, and the business third.
Yeah.
And so they had the things that I wanted, and I just took off from there. Took the training and excelled. I've hit masters 4 times. I actually hit it 5, but you got to pay for getting into masters too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, a lot of the things like with Keller Williams, not only are you a realtor with them, but you are one of their trainings, or you help with their training platform.
Right. We have a program called CART, California Realty Training. It's in conjunction with Keller Williams. You can go to any brokerage you want. So I train. I kind of persuade them to come our direction, of course. But they're with me for 3 months. We deal with the basic practices of practice principles, and we have finance as the elective.
Yeah.
And for 3 months, basically, they're with me. My classes are on Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 9. And we go over everything. And it's a prep for the DRE exam.
And you've had hundreds, if not thousands of people go through this program with you.
Right. I've been doing it for 6 years now.
Wow.
And we seem to be getting better and better and better. And what I mean by that is more and more are graduating. I mean, I got a 78.5% pass ratio.
Wow.
Of course, they only have to do 60 to pass on the test, but they have to do 70 to pass on the state exam.
Do you think with the knowledge that can you tell when a student comes in there if they're going to be successful in real estate, or is our industry so broad that a lot of people can find success kind of being themselves in their niche?
Well, what I like about the CART program, everybody has an opportunity, and everybody that comes in there, they're like wide-eyed, and they're like, okay. And the first question I ask them is, "Why do you want to get in real estate?"
Yeah.
And we say, okay, is it the money? Is it the fame? A lot of them see the real estate shows and things, and that's all they see. They don't see what takes behind it.
Yeah.
And so you really have to pull that out of them. But by the end, they're like walking in encyclopedias and stuff. And, they know the knowledge. You see the light come on and everything else. You got to remember, they're with me for 3 months.
Yeah.
And, we have a good time. We have all kinds of different things. We do the brain game and there's a lot of activity. We also have Zoom. I get the Zoomies involved, but they're at the same time. So it's a great course.
Do you think that with your history of real estate, it sounds like you personally have had to make some sacrifices in order for others to get in your same position?
Well, and you're talking about reference to coming up in the real estate business. So we've gone through a lot of different changes through my life.
Yeah.
I have had a lot of opportunities. I have been the community representative for SAR. And what I mean by that is, how we get the plaques and things of this nature.
Yeah.
I've gotten that 3 times through, SAR. I have also, through the Realtors, been Realtors of the Year twice. And of course, like I said, my master's, I've been a master's realtor for quite a while. And but the thing is that there's a lot of trials and tribulations that you go through. I've been on the boards. I've been on the board here numerous times. We've had quite a few folks. Our first African-American president was Bill Nunley. And I have not found out where Bill is now. And that's a shame, because he was really instrumental in wanting people to be involved that were in minority groups and things of this nature in SAR. Yeah. And I'm saying SAR, I'm talking about the Sacramento Association of Realtors. But the thing that was good about Bill, he really encouraged others to get involved and to be instrumental in leadership. I was on the leadership board, where you go leadership and assistant leadership. I've done quite a few of those things. But during that time, even while you were on some of those boards, you did see some of the things of racism and things of this nature. Yeah. A particular incident, I won't mention any particular names at this point in time, but one of our presidents had used, the N-word inappropriately and things of this nature. Yeah. They had to eventually apologize, and also in a letter form and things of this nature. I'm no stranger to knowing that prejudices out there. I've dealt with it even with when I was a title rep and things of this nature. Doors weren't open, but you have to sometimes kick them open. You have to use every little piece of thing that you have. You have to use your talents. You have to use your skills. Sometimes you just got to smile a little bit, but make sure that that smile has the respect and things of this nature too.
Because I think, me being in the business for over 20 years, when you go to the Bay Area and you go to the Realtor associations, it's a very different situation than just right across the, a few miles away here in Sacramento. So it sounds like we're still battling some of those things today, but with someone like you at the helm to let a new agent know that might be diverse or from a different background, I think it's safe for them to see someone in your position and know, I think I can do this.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, the biggest thing is encouraging, especially these students and things, that they can do it.
Yeah.
It's so important because a lot of them just don't know. A lot of them haven't had the guidance even within their own families and things of this nature. So to see someone that they respect as a teacher or an instructor or something of this nature, they say, wow, okay. Sometimes they're even a little surprised when they walk in the door and they see me, and then, we start talking and everything else, and they kind of calm down, it's like, oh, okay. And then by the time they're out, they're like, okay, Mr. Webb, how you doing? High five and all this kind of stuff. They call me the professor sometimes.
I like that name.
Hey, long as they call me, long as they call me by name and not out my name.
But I think a lot of this, we're in an industry that has an unlimited income potential. So there definitely should be some roadblocks and some crossing overs that seem harder or difficult. But with you being a trainer, I think that it's allowed real estate professionals to know that anyone can find success in this business. They have to just find the right path that they're wanting to take.
Well, it is, Cam, but there's hard work. Real estate is not easy, or everybody would do it. The thing that you have to realize is that you have to put in the time and everything. Yes, there's great money in this, but you have to build your network, your SOI and things of this nature.
Yeah.
You have to use the tools. I mean, if we would just use the tools, many more would be more successful.
Yeah.
And, you do need that guidance. We need more mentor programs.
Yeah.
I've been a mentor and things of this nature. I've trained some of the best that are out there. And, I enjoy it. I enjoy, like I said, again, seeing that light come on, seeing you be successful, because your success is my success.
Yeah. What did you do before you got into title and real estate?
Oh my gosh. I tell you, I've had a rough love.
What didn't you do before you got into it?
Well, I did have a radio talk show a program for a little while. It was called Motivation Through Your Excellence. I'm your host, Stephen T. Webb. And, but I did that. It was a motivational show. I used to get together with a guy you might know by the name of Les Brown.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a big Kevin Bracey fan.
Oh, yeah.
So Kevin's one of my guys.
Kevin's a friend of mine.
Kevin's book is probably the audible that I listen to when I am the most stressed out and I'm having a hard time, because he really breaks it down. But listening to Kevin talk about Les Brown is it's an amazing story.
Oh, it is. It is. And of course, Les went through cancer scares and things, which I did myself.
Yeah.
2018, I had a prostate cancer during that time, and successfully, I'm cancer free.
You're here.
And Lord willing, I'll continue on. But during that time, I did everything from, like I said, the radio talk show program. We did. I was a gutter floodder buster when we had the drought. I was the guy that knocked on the door and looked like a narc coming to, because I had an old Ford, it's all through the city, by the way. And then, of course, I had fun doing things such as forest firefighter up in Mariposa, Yosemite.
That's what you told me. You were a firefighter. So you got to like the outdoors a little bit, right?
Yeah, I learned to like it if I didn't.
Heat. You have to like heat and the outdoors. You got a good firefighter story for us?
Well, I think when I first went there, because I went in the night coming from Sacramento, and this was back in the 70s. And during that time, because I came to California in 1970, but during that time, that was one of the first real positions I had. But going there, I had a 1968 Bug, Volkswagen. And I'm going all the way to Mariposa. Now, I haven't been to Mariposa, okay? And if you go through that route, it's very steep coming up. At night, you don't know it. Yeah. You just know that it's road. When I went back the next day, my first day on the truck, I was like, wow. I was looking down. I'm like, did I come up through that deal?
Wow.
But, it was exciting. Looking at all the nature and everything else. There was a Needles Point up there, and to see deers walking around and everything, it was just phenomenal. But we hit on fires and everything else. We had DAP put on us. That's where the plane drops the stuff, and of course you're not baptized until you got a little DAP on you. So,
and I'm sure too, to be in a situation like that, which I can only imagine is extremely stressful. Probably this stuff that we do now must seem much easier.
Well, what was funny about that is, we had a lot of free time, in between the fires.
Yeah.
And, we were at the headquarters there in Mariposa on Starlight 40. And it was really some of the biggest things there was Western Union and A&W. And that was a big treat for us. I actually had thought about going into it as a profession, did it 2 summers. And but during that time, and that was California Division of Force we were with. But you asked about a story. One of the stories that we have, we have rattlesnakes out there. We have scorpions.
I'm out. Nope. Not doing it.
And,
let it burn.
Yeah, and they would actually get into the barracks or where we were staying. But one of the things I always ask everybody: who wins in a fight? Is it the black willow or is it the scorpion?
Yeah.
Which one you think?
I'm going to say scorpion since we're sitting here now.
No, the black widow.
Really?
Yeah, because scorpion's only got one way attack. The black widow hits you, put the web around you, and sits up there and watch you.
Done. Scorpion takes the L. Now, you mentioned you're from Ohio originally.
Yeah, Dayton, big Dayton.
Made your way out here in the 70s.
Yeah.
Because mom got a job, right?
Yeah, mom was with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And this was back 69 going into 70. They had a big transition where either we were going to go to, her job was going to transfer either to Battle Creek, Michigan, or Sacramento, California.
She made the right choice.
She made the right choice because Battle Creek, Michigan is way too cold. It was cold in California.
They got like Ohio. 3 months of good weather, and then you get all weather in one day.
That's
too.
Right. That's right. And we traveled out here. We had at that time we had a 69 Grand Prix, half Landau roof. I remember it well because my mother didn't like me driving it all the time.
I like that. Now, I wish we had video on this radio show because, I think sometimes myself as a decent dresser, but I have to give it up to you, sir. Every time that I'm around you, you're dressed sharp.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Where did the inspiration come from?
Well, I had a lot of role models. My dad, of course, his brothers. My dad's one of 10. My mom's one of 8. And so I have uncles and everything else. And, Midwest back east, man, we put it down, It's just styling and profiling.
I like that. I like that. I'm sure you've taught many how to tie ties and up their style.
That is exactly I have because I went to a parochial school where we had to wear a tie. And I actually got paid every now and then a quarter or whatever it was to tie.
I like that. I like that. Okay, let's dive into real estate a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that.
I would like to hear what are some common misconceptions about our industry?
That it's easy, that everybody can do it.
Yeah.
And it's not. You have to, you have to work with your client, especially if it's a buyer or a seller. It doesn't make any difference. But you have to make sure you're listening to what they're asking.
Yeah.
And not so want to put your persona on it. Oh, this is what I know. Take time to listen so that you can hear what they're asking. Now, true, everybody wants the highest price on. You have to be educated enough to say, look, here's what the numbers say.
Yeah.
And even if we put it down there, how long do you want your house to stay on the market?
Yeah.
I listened to Ryan, and Ryan's a good friend of mine, Ryan Lundquist. And, we look at all the numbers. We have the numbers for SAR on the various different graphs and things of this nature. Bring that stuff. Be prepared. And I got to tell you, be on time.
Yeah.
I hate when a realtor is not on time.
I agree with that.
In reference to meeting with it, at least call, but if you can, be on time, because that first impression is so important.
Yeah. And I hear like the it looks easy part a lot. Yeah. Honestly, that is when I ask this question, that's what I hear. Do you think it's partly our fault that we make it look easy?
And that's funny you say that. I don't know if we make it look so easy, but you see these shows and everything else, and everybody wants to be a millionaire. The point of the matter is, anything worth doing well.
Agreed. And I also think too, there's not ever that time that you think is the right time to start. That time is past. Like, you got to get into it when. I tell all my guys, you got to mess up a couple times and stand up and learn to fight another day. And that's how we get good at what we do.
That's right.
What's some advice that you would give to a brand new realtor or real estate agent?
Be patient.
Yeah.
Take time out to learn. One of the, if I may toot the horn of Keller Williams, one of the things that we do once you go through the CART program, the training program, where do you go next? So our next program is the Ignite program. It's another 8-week program.
Yeah.
It's still free for you, by the way.
Yeah.
But that program talks about scripts and things of this nature. Now, we don't want you to be scripty, but we want you to get the basis of what's needed to say in a situation.
That's what I really enjoy about script practice, because when you mention scripts to someone, they go, well, I don't want to read right off the list. And it's like, no, what we're doing here is we're deriving a game plan.
That's right.
So you can go out and use it when and wherever.
That's it.
I like that.
And learn your, learn your basics, learn your contracts and things of this nature. We have classes that teach that.
Yeah.
Learn it. Yeah. And, you don't have to have everything per data, but you need to be skilled enough to be able to explain how the contract and everything works.
Do you think with the new rules that it's more important than ever to develop a connection with your client? Or do you still think that like the tacticianer of someone that knows the ins and outs of every part of the contract, like does one side weigh more than the other now?
Well, it's always a little easier, of course, for the listing side, but the buyer side now, it's created. We should have always been doing, if you haven't been doing, the buyer broker agreement. Yeah. Okay. It was like new. Oh, wow. What's the buyer? You should have been doing that anyway. Yeah. Okay. But the point of the matter is now it's affected, especially minorities and things of this nature, because a lot of times they don't have any, they're stretched to whatever little money they have. Yeah. So they don't have that. And if you can't get it from the seller side, then that's a problem, because now you don't want to work for free. And of course, now you've got to explain this to them. Okay, this is how we're going to do it. So I've talked to many, I've been some of the classes here that we've had and have talked to lenders, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and all that kind of stuff. They've got to have a system so that at least somewhat you've got to be able to use some of that money so that we can. So I'm still looking for situations that'll help that situation. I do a lot of first-time home buyers and things.
I love first-time home buyers. I think that my favorite part is your opportunity to be a guide, and I think with these young people and even older people, they don't want one of us to go in there and just start rattling off we know. You hit the nail on the head. Mm-hmm. Take the time to listen to them, and then let's go from there.
That's it.
What motivates you?
My family. God, of course.
Yeah.
And just being me, believing in myself.
That's all it takes.
That's it.
You said you got 8 grandkids and 1 great grandkid.
Yeah, my oldest, by the way, is 32. That's O'Shea. And he's in the techie business. Yeah. Even drives a Tesla, so watch out. And my youngest is Aaliyah. She's 3 years of age. Oh, no, she's not 3 yet. She's 2 going on 50.
Yeah. I got a kid like that.
Yeah. And, but I've got, of that 8, 6 are young men. Mm-hmm. And of course, 2 are ladies. And then I have the great grandson is, he's turning 3 or 4 now.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah.
Got your hands full.
Oh, it's it's a joy, because one of the things you talked about, I like to dress and everything. And I remember buying my oldest grandson his first suit.
Yeah.
And we decked him out and everything else. And it was Easter or whatever it was, but it was so cool. You know,
do you have a suit guy in Sacramento? Are you going to Navins, or is that where we're going?
Well, we don't go to Navins. We've had a couple other places. We had Mr. Willie's. We had Distinguished Gentleman that used to be up on Watt Avenue. You know, I do a variety of different things, and it's about also combining, and everything is good. You just have to do it. But I do have a good guy that does alterations. That's Leon's in Florence Square.
Okay,
you know, so yeah, he's really good. He takes all your big old bell bottoms that you had.
Yeah.
Put them back down. You got that new suit again. Hey.
And these, you know, what's so funny about the suit thing is like baggy suits were in like 15 years ago. And I'm like, how did we get so far?
Hey, let me tell you, you know, it's all about style. Yeah. And it's about what you do, you know, because you basically are doing your particular style.
Yeah.
I think you should dress to impress. One of the things that my good friend Les Brown says, you got to look good, smell good, and talk good.
I like this. Now let's talk about some of these, because I really think with you not only being a trainer, you're a leader in our community. Mm-hmm. You were the former president of the local NAACP chapter. You 3 times, right?
Oh, no, not quite. But I was president 2014 to 2017.
Wow.
And then, of course, you got to build your way up to the, we did housing chair and vice president and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to be, before you hit president, you got to be involved in all the other steps.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then now let's talk about the Realtors.
The Realtors, yeah, I was president of that also, 2008 to 2010.
Yeah.
During that time, and it's always evolving. It's always evolving.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm glad that some of the new presidents, I'm talking about of the association that we've had, have been there, like Frank Garcia and things of this nature, and Aaron and stuff. They understand, they get it, and you know, the Realtors have had a hard time, especially working together. Mm-hmm. And matter of fact, we already know that NAR. And some of the tactics that were done.
Yeah.
At one point in time, if you really go back into history, we kind of changed our names. We went from this California Association of Realtors, mm-hmm. And that changed with, of course, KRAB and NAACP.
Yeah.
So they changed back. I mean, we've been doing this for 57 plus years.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think that the SAR connecting these groups, Nora, Realtist, ARIA, making them sister organizations, do you think that has strengthened the connection?
Oh, definitely so. I'm a part of DEI also on that committee. Matter of fact, myself, Marisol was involved, but we actually started the language of real estate. Mm-hmm. We did that when we did the first seminars and everything, and we would bring in culturally the clothing and everything else. And that's how we started it. And then it evolved to where it is now.
It's like every time I turn to something new and improved, it seems like you're there.
I had a little dip in it, a little dip in it.
And then you mentioned too, you hold some board positions.
Yeah, I guess I'm on, well, let's see, if we look at the Florence Square. Yeah. Florence Square we used to call it the incubator. Mm-hmm. Al Geiger and Bill Nunley and all those were part of that. That's where the Realtors used to meet many, many years ago. Yeah. Al Geiger, unfortunately, passed away of a massive heart attack. And of course, Bill Nunley, we already know where he has gone. But that is an organization that is building. They have over 50 minority businesses there, especially African American. And then they have a digital cafe. They're doing some great things there. We've actually had a big seminar there last year, a housing seminar. Yeah. And then also I'm on BAPAC. BAPAC is the Black American Political Association of California, which is kind of a conjunction with NAACP, or at one point, I shouldn't say it's the same, but it kind of spearheaded from the Bill Pickney, of course, was one of the founders, and Alice Huffman. But yeah, that's another one. And then, of course, Agape Villages. I'm on that one. That's foster children. Mm-hmm. So that's just to name 3 of them of probably 6 that I'm on.
When do you sleep? when do you?
I try to get my rest when I can. Hey, I tell you, sometimes Some people say, hey, keep going. Are you going to keep going? I said, yeah. I said, as long as the Lord has blessed me to be able to talk and keeps me, where I can move pretty good. I don't know why I work out, probably 4 or 5 times a week, trying to, because you got to keep the temple right,
But do you think being a leader, I think one of the struggles that you deal with in leadership is who comes after you. And I think a lot of the times that is what prevents you from handing over the reins, because I feel like some people don't understand the sacrifices that you make as a leader.
Well, that's true. Thank you very much. I think it's really about grooming others to come up.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't want to do that part, because once you lead, you're out there and you are the vocal point of what is said. And when I was president of NAACP here of Sacramento, Kevin Johnson was our mayor during that time. We did a lot of things. We had, of course, before George Floyd and everything, we had Michael Brown situation, and that was really heated. That was a scary situation for our cities and everything else, for the communities and everything else. And of course, Sacramento had its share of other folks that we dealt with. But we came together with the various different forces, the Sheriff Department, the California Division of the Highway Division, and the Police Department and things of this nature. Of course, it was good to get our previous police chief, Hong, and things of this nature. So we really collaborated and came together as a force. We met over at, of course, the Shiloh Baptist Church over there in Oak Park, which we just recently lost Pastor Williams just recently, and he was a catalyst there. And but I mean, that place was packed. That would hold, I forget how many thousands.
I know.
People.
I'm a resident of Colonial Heights and Oak Park myself, so I'm very familiar with the church and the actions that go on over there.
There you go. So you know. And you got together, and we've had meetings with them many a days, and to the community. We just got to, we as a people, especially at this organization, Sacramento Association of REALTORS, we have to do better, and we have to be out there in the forefront.
I agree with this wholeheartedly. I think that real estate professionals are the first person in our community that are inviting others into it.
That's right.
We have to let them know what's happening, and that very much we need to embark the positivity of home ownership and to people that might not even understand if they can own a home yet.
That's right. That's right. And if you just give them the basics, because everybody doesn't have the money.
No.
And they've got, dings on their credit and things of this nature. We've got to get people that can really help them, not use them, but help them, making sure that they're doing the right things to make the next step.
I agree with that, because I think you're kind of an easy target on your back when you are in a lower income or a lower credit status. You have all these people that want to help, but they're also holding their hand out for some payment. So I always think if it's not now, then it's when. And that's kind of what you get to express to your clients that are in that position.
So true.
Where do you live in Sacramento?
I'm in Antelope, California. Right next to Roseville.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm so close to Roseville, I didn't even know that we had a graveyard back there.
I think they call it Roseville now with all those new builds, right?
Right. I'm right next to PFE Road, so not too far. Yeah.
You're out there. You got a little land or something?
Actually, I got about a quarter or so. It's I definitely have fun when people come up. I'm in a cul-de-sac. Yeah. And when they come, you got a little bitty eye. But then they go back into the back 40 and they say, whoa. Because, it goes in a big U shape, so I enjoy. We have our family gatherings and stuff like that. Yeah. And not 4th of July, but Labor Day is our big thing when we get the families together. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm excited that you came out here today and that you took the time to come and do this. Yeah. Usually I end the show, but I kind of wanted to ask you on this special occasion, is there like some motivation or something you can put out in the world for us today?
Well, one of the things that I want you to all to believe in yourself. Les Brown, one of the things that I always say is good, better, best, never let it rest. Your good is better and your better is best. Believe in yourself. And only you have the degree and, of course, the desire to be the best you can be. Go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone that took the time to listen. Mr. Stephen T. Webb, I very much appreciate you coming out to the show. We got Spencer Williams, our silent engineer over here. I want to thank the Sacramento Association of REALTORS for allowing me to be the host on the House Keys podcast. And we look forward to seeing everybody next week.